This is the demo or the tutorial for the tire, and what I want to do is to show you that I'm going to have to toggle up on the layer palette to turn off and on this tire here, this template. But I've saved the template right over here, and the first thing I need you to understand is behind the tires, the tire needs to go below the sheet metal layer, obviously. And I made a path for the entire outer part of these tires. And let me back off on this file so I can show you. I'm just going to take this and I'm going to go Option Command D, 1 pixel feather, and I'm going to grab the color that's behind the wheel well right there. And if I can show you kind of quick what I'm going to do, I'm going to do all the darkness behind the tire, including the driver's side tires on the far side. So first let me just go Option Delete, making sure that I'm on my bottom wells layer, Option Delete, and just fill that up to give me a real good basis of how to react the tire off of that. The very first thing that I did, and I'll again show you my paths as fast as I can, is let me turn off this path here, which was wheel 3, and start with the outer tire here. It starts right here. I actually go to turning on the car right here. I'm going to go from the I'm not doing much of the wheel, not right now anyway. I have a wheel 3, a wheel 2, and a wheel 1. That's to take me to the 3 circles from the inner to the outer of the wheel. Then I go around the tire like this so that I can actually show that there's a little shadow behind the wheel. Then I go to the middle, what I call the horizontal area of the tire. Then tire 3 is actually where that little ridge takes place, and then tire 4 is the actual outer part of this tire. Then I have the entire outer tire done, and then I have the right side of the tire in case I need that. Plus I did all these little these lugs, these little tread shapes that are up here, and that's going to be for later. But what I want to do is start with the outer tire. So I'm going to Command click the outer tire, Option Command D, 1 pixel on the feather, and I'm going to go down here on my outer tire layer. I'm sorry, I got to go back up here and turn this off. It's the only part that's going to be a little tough. I really don't have to go up there anymore, kind of, but to show you what I'm talking about from time to time. Let me go grab the medium value of this tire. And what I'd like to do is to probably just try to contrast this tire out of the easiest thing possible, which is probably the dark. I do believe I went Option Command D, 1 pixel feather. Let me go Command H to not show this, and I'm going to grab the middle value of this tire right here, okay, because I'm going to have to do a lot of marrying together of values. Let me grab it again right there. It's grabbing the foreground color, okay. I've got it right here. That's pretty good. And in the brush tool, okay, I think I've got it. Why is it grabbing? Okay, there it goes. And let me go make sure I'm on the right layer, not outer tire, correct, and Option Delete to fill up this tire. Now what I want to do is to start contrasting the lights and darks. Now I'm going to get the V tool because I want you to see something. Whenever a tire, I'm going to have to turn this on again, whenever a tire shows that, if you see the geometry of the tire, there's a bellow out of this geometry here. Well, it just so happens that it goes like this. Where the center horizon is where I'm pointing, the light hits the tire up here, and then the shadow takes over underneath. The same way is true of the top of the tire. The light hits up here and the shadow's underneath. So watch here how the light turns into the dark, but the dark out here turns into the light. So we just have to start that process rolling, and I've created enough layers that I should be able to make that work. So let me go to the tire 4 layer, and let's start to darken and lighten as we need to go. Let me turn off this upper car layer here, tire layer, the overall car, and let me click up to number 4 and see what number 4 was. Well, obviously that was the tire on the outside. So what I'm going to do is start with the outer tire. I'm going to go to the right hand side right over here, to this side right over here, and I'm just going to lay in on enough dark over there. So Option Command D, it's 1 pixel feather on this side, but a lot of pixel feather on this side. So let me go 1 pixel feather first, and let's go grab a real good strong dark on this side of the tire. Really nice and almost orange or red black on this side. Command H to hide it, and let's go smaller brush. I'm painting at 3. That's not going to get the job done. Let's go up to 5 and see if that's enough. Now, let me start by painting the darkness underneath here. Come right around the bottom of the tire. Okay, we're going to melt that in. Let's go on the top here and kind of just paint this in. I realize that was very harsh. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to soften it through a series of my paths. Let's go show this path again right here. Let's go Command click on this path. And now let's start the softening process. Let me toggle it over a couple of toggles to the right. Let's go Option Command D and let's go about 5 pixels on that feather. Let's go Command H to hide it and stay on tire number 4. Because what I want to do is I want to start to marry this by softening that edge. If you see what I just did there, and let me come down here and see what I can do down here. So now you can see how I'm getting the dark to go underneath the tire, and I'm starting to get the reaction that I need. And I'm just worried about the dark underneath here. As it mellows out, let's go around this edge and get it a little bit less. Let's come up like this. And now let's just start to bring off this tire a little bit better than that. I'm going to go back to the outer tire, the whole thing. Option Command D, 2 pixeled feather, and Command H to hide it. And let's now just camouflage the bottom of this tire completely. I might need to bring off some of the tread later. I'm not quite sure. Now, here's what I told you about the horizon. Let's click up to tire number 3. Let's show tire number 3. Now it's at this point, if I can toggle on this real fast here, it's at this point that, there it is right there, it's at this point that that's where the darkness starts to take over, right at the horizon. I'm not exactly at the horizon yet. Tire number 2 is that horizon, so I'm going to start the process rolling and get it kind of looking decent. But you can see how this is where the light side kicks in. So let's go do the light side on tire number 3 and the dark side. So Command click it, Option Command D, about 5 pixels on the feather. Turn this off and let's go here and make sure that we are on something we haven't painted on. That's correct. Command H. Let's go, it's a little bit smaller brush, and let's go hold the Option key and grab this bright side right over here. Now let's come around the bright side, and you are so much going to have to pay attention to the fact that this is not going to look good until it's 75% completed. Now that's the right value that I'm putting on there, okay? It's got to have a little bit more darkness right on the edge, but that's the right value. Now let's start the process of tire number 2. So I'm going to go like this and show you first that that's the inside horizon. That was tire number 3 right there. This is tire number 2 right there. So let's turn this off. Option Command D. I'm kind of guessing here. 8 pixels is good. I think 10 may be good right here. Now I'm painting inside, so I really want to show you what I'm going to be doing right now. I'm trying to get the light value right underneath here and the dark value right up here. So let's turn this off, turn back here, make sure I'm on tire number 3's layer. Let's see what's on there. Alright, I don't mind that I'm painting on this layer. It kind of will help the whole situation later. Let's go Command H to turn this off, and let's hit, it just so happens that 10 is too much. So let's go back to tire number 2, Command click, Option Command D, and let's go about 6 pixels on the feather, and Command H to hide it. I want a definitive line, but I sure don't want it to be too definitive. Alright, there is the brightness that I'm talking about right here. I'm going to paint it a little bit going up and a little bit going up here. Okay, it kind of mellows out there, and we're going to have to take a little bit more darkness right there. Now, instantly, we got to go do the dark on the top. So let's go grab this nice dark right here. Get the brush going up like this, show where it is again, turn it off real quick with Command H, and let's start getting the dark on where the wheel well is, where the wheel itself is. Let's go right up here like this. Okay, that looks good. Let's go like that. That looks good. Let's go across, let's go down a little bit farther where it starts to marry right into the other part of that tire, right there. Okay, a little bit more. I need some of that brown to take over now. So let's click in here and let's hit some of that brown right on top of it, just so the two kind of marry in together right there on this part going down to this part. I want the two to marry. Let's go back to the dark and just increase the dark a little bit. Look what I'm painting on, Command H. Let's contract that by a couple of pixels. Let's go like this and go 2 pixel contraction. Actually a little bit more contraction. 2 more is fine. Command H to hide it. And make sure I'm in the dark, and then let's hit a little bit more of that dark on this edge. Okay, and let's come like this. Now, what I've got to do is, you can see over here the darkness really takes over. So let me go back to the tire number 1. It's the outer tire. Nah, this one. I'm sorry, that one. Option Command D, 2 pixels on the feather. Make sure I'm in the black still. Command H to hide this. Let's go camouflage this side of it right over here. So let's go camouflage that side. And as a matter of fact, what I should have done is gone the big one, Command click, and subtract out this one right here. I'll show you where I'm going to paint. If I turn this on, I want to paint between here and here. So maybe I should even use the inside one right there. So I'm going to actually subtract that one out of there to get this darkness right in here. Option Command D. Let's go to 5 pixels on the feather. How about 4? 4 pixels on the feather. Command H to hide it. Turn off the car layer right there. Let's click up to tire number 2 and just a higher layer, and let's go make sure we have dark in our brush. Yes, and now let's paint a little bit more dark on this edge to get a little bit more definition right in here. Get a little bit smaller with the brush. Okay, I'm almost ready to come in and do a little bit more of the detail work, which is the wheel. Once I get the wheel in there, even the first shine for the wheel, look what I'm doing. I'm putting a little bit of dark value across the top. I need to pick up a little bit more of this, and then a little bit brighter here, and then a little bit darker where that wheel goes. Well, let me put in a value for the wheel because I'm having trouble seeing it. So let me go to layer number 1 for the wheel, and let's go to click the wheel, Command click, Option Command D, 1 pixel on the feather, Command H to hide it, and this is going to be an opaque value. So let's go grab the white that's right there, and then I'm going to kind of marry the white. Well, I'll actually grab a little bit darker tone right up there. Perfect. Let me go Option Delete to fill it, and now I have a decent wheel looking value. While it's still selected, I'm going to go grab some of the white and paint the white up in here. Actually, what I'll do is I'll subtract. Remember, I have this on. I have the path for the inside shape right there. It's the next one. It's actually right there. And yes, that's it. And let me go Command minus it out, so I'm only painting between there. Option Command D, 1 pixel on the feather, Command H to hide it. Now let's go paint a little white up in here. Just to help me contrast it. I'm not painting a wheel for you, but when you are painting something like a tire, you certainly have to see the values that are around it. Now let's go grab this blue and hit the blue right up in this side, right here, and then grab a little bit of this warm value and hit the warm value up in this side over here, and then come up higher with it. And just to see a little bit more detail, I'm going to click up to number 2 here, and I made a very special, what did I do with it? I know I saved it. It's down here. It's wheel 2A. Let me move it up here. I made a very special selection down here. It was a subtraction from 1 and 2, from wheel 1 and 2. And let me click it. See how it's simply a little bit of a dark right over here on the side, where that dark is here. Let me go Option Command D, 1 pixel feather, and let's go Command H to hide it. Let's go grab a little bit of this dark tone right in here, right there, and let's just paint that dark right on here just to get the good feel of what that edge is going to look like later. Okay, now it's starting to look a little bit like a tire and a wheel. Now I need a little bit more dark around this edge and then brighten this up just a tiny bit. It's not going to take much. So if I show you the actual first tire I had right here, I'm going to go Option Command D and click up to tire one just below the wheel here, okay, right up there in my layer palette. Option Command D, 1 pixeled feather, Command H to hide it. Let's go grab this black right there and go Option Delete and fill that up with a nice dark. Let's kill a little bit of that dark now. So let's grab this and just kill it back a little bit with the brown and kill it back with a little bit of the brown. Now what I need to do is to find the inner wheel and see on this side behind the lettering, which I'm not going to do for you. I'm going to grab this smallest value, which I believe is number 1. No, it's number 2. Let me go like this and contract this by a whole bunch, like maybe 10 pixels or 7 or 8 pixels. So let's go 8 pixel contraction. Could have done more actually. Subtract, probably was right with 10 pixels. 5 more. And let's go Option Command D. Let's go 5 pixels on the feather, Command H to hide it, and grab the dark value with a bigger brush. Now I just need a little bit more dark around the tire like this. That looks really good. Look at how the light turns into the dark, and then the dark on the outside turns into the light. So let's come around like this. Let's grab this tone right here, this little bit of this bright value here. I'll grab a little bit more of it. And then I'm going to paint a little bit more of the bright value right up in here. And now let's see where my selection is. Let me move it down just a little bit. And let me grab a little bit more of that light tone and make it even lighter. So let's go up here and make it even lighter. But watch out how light you do it. Command H to hide it. And let's just hit a little bit more of that light value right here. Okay, that's real pretty. And let's go on the side here, Command H to show what I'm doing. I need to go this value over here. So I recall that it was the outer tire right here. So Command click it and subtract out this one. And now I get to paint where I am right there. Option Command D, about 5 pixels on that feather, Command H to hide it. And now I'm going to get a little bit more value going on right there. A little bit more value going on right there. And now I do have an extra little something that I want to paint. Let's go, I need one more layer above the tire. Let's find the outer tire and Command click it. Option Command D, 1 pixeled feather, Command H to hide it. I need to brighten up on the edge. The same value that I've been working with, I need to brighten up a little bit more on that outer edge. So I got to be careful on how far to come on the inside. Let me just brighten up a little bit of these treads right over here. That's real pretty right there. Now, just to see how I'm reacting here, let's go get some of those dark lug nuts, or I'm sorry, lug nuts, the tire treads. Go one more layer higher, which I'm going to double click and name treads. Now let's go grab the treads. Command click, Option Command D, 1 pixel on that feather, Command H to hide it. Let's go grab the black here, and now on the tread layer, let's put the treads in. So let's come like this and put them in real good, like this. There, they're coming in nice. Okay, that's real good down here. I obviously have a little bit more work to do on this tire, but it's not looking too bad. And I need now this dark line, which is between, if you can see where I'm painting, there's a little bit of a dark line in there that gives me a little bit more definition. I believe it was, I kind of got to do a special thing right here. I'm going to go Command click this, and I'm going to move it over 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to save this selection by moving it down 1, 2. And I'm going to save this selection as tire 3, and I'm going to move up tire 3 in the channels palette so you see that I'm almost done here. Let me go tire 3 and put it right near the other ones. And now if I bring off a click on this outer one and then subtract tire number 3 from it, I get that little line that's right there. Let me go Option Command D, 1 pixel on the feather, Command H to hide this. And now if I go grab the dark and I'm on my tread layer, that'll be fine. Look at how I can paint that little bit of tread right up here, that little bit of detail that's right in there. And now that's pretty close to what the actual thing is. I really don't have a whole lot of time left to really nail this down. I'm going to get a little bit darker on this reflection. So let me go Command click this this tire right here, this one. Option Command D, 3 pixels on the feather and inverse it with Command H. I just need to bring off a little bit more darkness right here. If it's too much, then I'll just Command Z it back. Okay, and let me put one more layer above here, layer 19, so I can just get rid of it. I just need a little bit more of a definitive line right here, and then I need that line to come up a little bit higher right up in here. That's good. Right down in here, I need that to get a little bit darker as it works its way up here. Notice how I'm getting paint outside here. I don't really care. I'll actually delete that paint off of this file. And then let me get a little bit more darkness as it goes up in here. Okay, now, I got to put the line, the dark line back in here. So let me go Command click this one. Nope, I'm sorry, it's this one. Let's grow this out a little bit. Let's go expand it by 3 pixels. Let's go Option Command D, 2 pixels on the feather, Command H to hide it. And I believe that I painted that on tire number 1. So I'm going to actually go up to layer 19 because I have stuff above tire number 1's layer. Get a little bit of dark in my brush and reinstate this dark right there. Now, that doesn't look too bad. It just needs a little bit more work, but I wanted you to see what a tire is all about. Before I leave you on this, I am going to, I should have come back with a little bit more tread. I just wanted you to see I have some more work to do here on the bottom treads, which I haven't done, but I am going to go outer tire. Let me go Option Command D, 1 pixeled feather, and reverse. Shift Command I, the selection. Now, if I click up to all of these, let's see where the overspray is. Layer 19 is where my overspray is. Since I inversed that selection, let me just delete it out. And look at how nice that looks next to the whole thing. I'm real close on my values. Just wanted you to see how a tire is a dark to a light on the inside, and then when it skips over to the other side of the tire, where the geometry forces it to, aim itself down, it's the rounded part of the tire, and that goes dark to light the other way. So there is your tire. There is your entire thing. That is kind of finished. So far, I'm not bad. I definitely have detail work to do on this car, but it's not bad for the tutorials and for making you see the different paths. Just understand that a little bit more finessing is better than a half an hour drawing, but that's not bad as far as laying it in. And I'm kind of going back and forth and showing you all the paths that I drew. By the way, when I drew these paths, I just drew one of them, and I used the Edit Free Transform, and I scaled them down so they were all starting from the same origin point in the center. I didn't draw them freehand. I used the ellipse tool, which is the U key, and I used the ellipse tool. Now, I'm going to go over here and show you one little trick before I leave. If you hold the Option key, you can draw the ellipse from the center out. Hold the Option key, but do not hold the Shift key because you don't want it to be a perfect circle. Look at how you can aim these from the very center out, and that's a really cool way to actually aim where you want the ellipse to be. Again, that's the U key with the Option key held down. Let me shift click on this and say thank you very much. Goodbye.